You're listening to
Wrestling to the Max.
Alert, clear all channels.
This is an exclusive.
How you like that?
And your host, Gary Vaughn, Sean Garmer, and Paul Leeser.
King of Sport. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Bullet Club. For life.
Hello and welcome to another Wrestling Max Extra. This is number 12, I think. That's what my numbers are telling me here. And I am here to review the G1 Climax Night 2. I already did Night 1 the day after it happened. This one's a little bit more timely. Trying to get these more timely as I can. The further we go into the tournament. We're going to head into a period where we're going to have basically nights 2, 3, and 4 all back to back. So that's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of work for, actually I think it's nights 2, 3, 4, and 5 because I think they have a show. Yeah, they had a show today. They have a show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, so that means we'll have night 3, 4, and 5 as well before they take a break on Monday. But yeah, so this there's a lot less to introduce from the first show that I did. So I should note that the big thing about this show, that maybe if you've never watched a New Japan show or not, or you know never watched a New Japan World show or anything like that, sometimes when they go to these house shows that are in these smaller arenas, they have a hard camera that's just set in one position. All it can do is kind of zoom in and out, and you just see the ring the entire time. It doesn't move or anything. So they call it a hard cam or one cam show. And it's nice because in one end, you get to hear the crowd a lot more. So it kind of feels like you're in the arena at this house show, hearing the crowd, hearing them interact with the wrestlers a lot more. You'll hear kids and women shouting names of wrestlers a lot. That's kind of the thing to do, apparently. The bad thing is that they'll obviously they won't dub over a lot of the music because they'll just use their normal entrance themes that are not licensed, so you don't hear a lot of the music unless it's something that New Japan owns or it's just the universal song they use for no matter where you are. And you also don't get the commentary. So there's no commentary even. I mean, you know, if you're in the West, you're not understanding Japanese anyway, so it's not, you know, a totally big deal. But it does feel different when you're not hearing commentators and you're just... That's why I say it kind of feels like you're at the show because you don't hear commentators, like you don't hear commentators when you're at a show live anyway. So I kind of like those because they give you this more intimate feeling, like you get to have that experience. I'm not saying I want it every single time I watch a New Japan event or whatever, but I think the people that really complain about these, it's kind of silly. Like, come on, they should try to be able to. I mean, they look at all the money that they're saving, we're saving a lot of money getting to watch these shows for like $8 and change. Imagine what they're having to shell out for these shows. Okay, so that's pretty amazing that you're talking about pretty much shows that we're getting for nothing, and to complain about the fact that they want to save a little money here and there. Yeah, I know it's G1 and maybe they shouldn't do that or whatever, but to think about it honestly, it's probably a lot better for them anyway. So I mean, the one thing it does suck is it hurts the production quality a little bit, because you don't get the multi-camera shots. They don't get to move around that much. So when they go to the outside, for instance, there's a lot of times where they'll go out and vote. You won't see them, and that kind of sucks. Because if they do a move to the outside, which happens quite often on this event, at least, you don't get to see it because it's over to the right too much or over to the left too much, and you're kind of like peering over the crowd, hoping you can see something, and it doesn't always, turn out like that. So. But yeah, let's get on to the show itself. This was, of course, G1 Climax 25 Night 2. This was held in the Twin Mace in Shizuoka, Japan, a much smaller venue. It holds about like 2,400 people, not the 8,000 people that the first event held. So that's also another reason why they felt like you can do a one-camera show, because it's a smaller setting. It's not this huge arena or anything like that where you feel like, okay, it serves the purpose of having these multicam shots and everything. So yeah, so we start off with, again, if you don't understand the format by now, they have changed it from the previous format where it's now 4 tag matches or 6 mans or whatever into, I don't know why my computer's being slow. But yeah, so they changed it to having these tag matches and 6 mans and 8 mans and all that stuff with the first 4 matches, and then you get the intermission, and then you get your G1 matches. So yeah, let's get on with this. The first match, as you would assume, featuring the Young Lions, Jay White and Yohei Komatsu against Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I didn't feel this too much. It also has to do with the crowd at this show was really weird. There was times where they were loud, like for Hanma and Okada and other things, Nakamura and other various guys, but it's not. It's really weird because some of the guys you'd think that they would be really hyped to see, and in some of these matches, they weren't really, just totally into it. This was one of those matches where it kind of felt like they were asleep. It's the first match. They weren't really there yet. So, you basically had the Young Lions kind of doing their spots a little bit. And the Tiger Mask is he gets a little grumpy. And he sort of sometimes doesn't feel like he's totally into it. It feels like he's going through the motions. Liger didn't do a whole lot either. It wasn't the fast match that happens in the second match here after this, but it kind of just felt there to me. It didn't feel like there's a story going through it with Komatsu kind of proving that he really wants to get at these veterans and whatever, and Jay White's the reason why they lost because he's not, the veteran that Komatsu is and understands everything, but I still feel like there wasn't these first 3 tag matches. They kind of all run together for me. It wasn't anything stand out. Whereas I think on the previous show I had talked about how I really felt like those opening tags were really doing something for me, and they were actually pretty good. So yeah, this one was kind of there for me. So. The second match is a 6-man tag, Captain New Japan, Kota Ibushi, and Togi Makabe against Cody Hall, Doc Gallows, who Kota Ibushi has to face tomorrow, and Bad Luck Fale, who Togi Makabe has to face tomorrow. And so this one kind of goes pretty quick. Kota Ibushi's basically here so he can do some big moves. He does a standing moonsault. He does a big springboard moonsault to the outside, taking out the Gallows and Fale. Captain New Japan kind of really doesn't do much. It's mainly Makabe and Cody Hall. I thought Cody Hall looked pretty good in this. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot to do, but he didn't, look out of place. He was on point with what he had to do. Makabe kind of had the big moves with the double clothesline of the guys that kind of led to Ibushi doing the moonsault and kind of taking out Gallows or taking out Fale or whatever. It was your simple six-man tag. Makabe wins the King Kong knee drop on Cody Hall, and pretty much that's it, really. It's not anything, you're going to remember or at all, pretty much. So, after this, we have the third match was a tag team match. Yoshihashi and Toru Yano, both of Chaos against Tama Tonga and AJ Styles, both of the Bullet Club. This one was a little better. Even though you really had AJ come in here to do basically one big move. He does a springboard forearm here towards the end. He does get involved, but he's not really these tag matches are really kind of twofold. They're there to build up something for the next night that they have a G1 match, and they are also there to kind of give these guys a break, because they just be going hard every time because it's G1 matches the constant whole show. So we get a little bit of Yano doing his comedy here. He can't even get done with his taunt because he constantly gets hit in the back by either Tonga or AJ, and then he even tries to duck Tama Tonga, and that kind of works out for a little bit before he gets whacked by AJ. Yoshihashi gets a little bit of offense here. He gets to do his suplex neck breaker thing, and Tama Tonga, we get to see him do some stuff. I really wish, again, Tama Tonga had been put in the G1 instead of Yujiro, because he's a much better wrestler. They had a great little thing where Tama Tonga was acting like he was a snake, and Yano just ran from him. It was really funny. That was probably one of the best parts of the match. The finish kind of comes when Yano sees AJ coming, so he pushes AJ. Tama Tonga's coming the other way to spear Yano. He winds up spearing AJ, and then Yano rolls up an unsuspecting Tama Tonga for the win. So it kind of leaves you into the intrigue of, could Yano do this to AJ tomorrow? I guess he could. And this is coming from the guy that thought Toru Yano was going to have a big upset on night one, and obviously Makabe took care of him. Even though Yano kind of made us think he might a few times. I do have AJ winning this. I'm going to stick with that. Think that we're getting AJ kind of running through the guys he should beat. He'd probably lose to maybe a Tanahashi or maybe even a Naito surprises or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be Yano, but who knows? It's possible. After this, we get the best of the undercard here with a six-man that has Máscara Dorada, Tetsuya Naito, and Hiroshi Tanahashi against Ryusuke Taguchi, Katsuri Shibata, and Hiroshi Tenzin. It's mainly the Dorada show. He does a lot of stuff here. He does his rope rock drop kick. He does lucha arm drag that leads to him doing an awesome tope con heel to the outside on Taguchi. You get to see him. He makes this stuff look so easy. Like, it's no big deal for him to do, and it's really, trying to have balance on those ropes is ridiculous, and for him to just do it like that is crazy. He does a rope walk senton. Tanahashi kind of does a move which allows him to do a moonsault, which looks great. Taguchi gets to come in there and do some comedy. Actually, Taguchi is the one that kind of wins the match, pinning Dorada, if I'm not mistaken. He pins Dorada. So, yeah, it looks like maybe we're setting up a future junior program, even though I don't know. You do have Kushida. They announced Kushida's going to wrestle Ricochet on the last night of the G1 in a rematch of the Best Super Junior Finals from 2014, which Ricochet won that year. So you would think that this would be Kushida getting his win back. But if you don't know who Ricochet is, he's also Prince Puma in Lucha Underground if you know him that way. And also Bushi is coming back. Not to be confused with Kota Ibushi. Bushi is coming back as well on that last night of the G1. Plus you get the Young Bucks against Red Dragon for the IWGP Junior Tag Titles. So that's some nice setup there for those matches, certainly. So, and they've already announced that final is sold out as well. So you have to wonder if they're going to change their course. Maybe you have Nakamura against somebody else, maybe a Nakamura Tanahashi that you've seen a few times, maybe not AJ Nakamura, but we'll see what they decide to do. But anyway, getting to this six-man tag, Shibata and Naito are wrestling tomorrow, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tenzin are wrestling tomorrow as well. And Shibata and Naito have like a stare down at the beginning. Naito, has this heel character where he, just doesn't care. And Shibata's kind of giving him this look like, look, if you're not, I don't care that you don't care. I'm just going to kick some ass. And Naito gets taken down by Shibata, and then Naito rolls out of the ring, and Shibata just says, okay, I'm going to sit in this ring until you decide to come back in. He doesn't decide to come back in, so he kind of chases him around still. You get Shibata wanting Tanahashi in, and then you get this awesome moment where Naito's just standing on the apron, minding his own business, doing his thing. And then all of a sudden, Shibata just comes in and wham, just knees him all the way to the other side. It looks like, Naito just flies out of the picture. It's just awesome. Well done by Shibata. Great stuff. Tanahashi and Tenzin have a nice little interaction that makes you think that they might have a good match tomorrow, which is possible. Tenzin, like I said, is when he wants to be on, he can be on, and especially Tanahashi, he's the kind of guy that can get a good match out of anyone, so it'll be interesting, definitely. Tanahashi also gets some stuff on Shibata, too, and they will meet eventually, since they're both in the same block. So I think, no, it wasn't Shibata, it was Taguchi, I think. But either way, this was, like I said, really the Dorado show. Taguchi got some stuff in. He got the sliding ass attack for the win. The other, it was basically two face teams, but the Shibata, Taguchi, and Tenzin team win. So that's your undercard. They went to the intermission. And then we get our first G1 match, which is Satoshi Kojima and Tomohiro Ishii. I think I was kind of expecting more out of this, and I think other people were expecting a lot more out of this as well. Especially after all the tension that they built up from the tag match the previous night. You would think that it's just one of these where, you think that there was just more into this, and it might have been the crowd too. They were kind of, I don't know if they were confused as to who they wanted to cheer for. I don't know what it was, but they just didn't seem like totally too into this. You did have a kid in the audience that was constantly cheering for Ishii. He was saying Ishii's name a lot. That was quite funny. They did have some good stuff in here, though. Kojima was trying to kind of keep Ishii down for the first part of the match, and then Ishii does a power slam, and things start going back and forth. They also traded elbows towards the beginning as well. Kojima was able to counter a brainbuster attempted with DDT. You have Ishii doing a super stalling brainbuster, which got a near fall. It was great. These two did go at it, but I just think that there was just something missing to really get it over the top. Kojima did hit his lariat, but he rolls out of the ring. I don't know why, but he does. I guess he was trying to get a rest, and this kind of led to Ishii kind of just getting the upper hand, and he gets a big brainbuster, and he wins. So Ishii gets 2 points, starting the night off right for the Chaos contingent, something that wouldn't bode too well for possibly the following contingent for Chaos, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So after this, we had Hiroki Goto, your IWGP Intercontinental Champion, against Yujiro Takahashi. Yeah. See, this is why we say something about Yujiro and really should have been Tama Tonga, because Yujiro, okay, they do the heel beating down the face for a period that seems like it went forever. I mean, just was Yujiro with multiple attacks and multiple moves, and I don't know why they did this thing where Goto was trying to put Yujiro in chin locks, and then Yujiro would go bite his finger, and they did this 2 different times. And then obviously you get the Goto getting to do it back to Yujiro, but it doesn't make sense. Like, people aren't going to cheer for Yujiro. Why would you do the whole chinlock thing with Yujiro? It just kind of made no sense to me. But either way, this was pretty much not a whole lot. Goto's comeback was the highlight of it, where he does a big lariat that turns Yujiro inside out, a nice headbutt. Then he does the Urushi Kuroshi and the Shouting Kai, and that's it. Pretty much. That was probably the worst match of the 5 G1 matches. Certainly. So then we get into the latter 3, and the latter 3 are certainly worth waiting for to watch. Yuji Nagata against Tomoaki Hanma. I love Hanma. I've made it no secret that I love Hanma, so yeah, he and Nagata kind of go at it here from the beginning. Nagata basically works on the neck most of the match. A lot of his moves have to do with the neck. He does a chin lock. His exploder suplexes in the corner, making sure that we get a Hanma with hitting the back of his neck against the turnbuckle. He gets a big knee lift on Hanma. Even Nagata's armbar, that sort of works the neck a little bit when he has to wrench back on that arm, because Hanma has to use that to try to get out of it. Hanma does get 2 rocket kokeshis. He doesn't get any the regular kokeshi, or he misses the top rope kokeshi as well. The fans are really into Hanma. He was one of the 3 guys that really got loud chants for most of the night, because Tanahashi and Tenzan really had to get the crowd to cheer for them, even though there was kind of like a dual chant going on between the both of them. But this was effortless. This was built to go with what you get from Hanma, which is, he gets a lot of hope spots. He gets a lot of moments where you think he's going to do something and then he's thwarted. And they really wanted to see Hanma win. He kicked out of Nagata's backdrop pin, and then Nagata kind of had a bridge with the second one to make sure he got him down. But Hanma again got real close. But Nagata got through there. Really liked the match. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it played to Hanma's strengths. It went off their tag match. Nagata also, the whole working the neck paid off in the end. And I really enjoyed it. So I definitely think these latter 3 G1 matches are definitely worth watching, and this is the first one that you should probably go back and watch. So then we get Kazuchika Okada, your IWGP Heavyweight Champion, against Michael Elgin. Michael Elgin's first singles match in New Japan. And he did not disappoint here. They really had this match so that Elgin could show as a star. He really does in this match. Okada and him have certain chemistry from, going on the ROH tours or whatever. But even from the beginning, Okada tries to go for an arm drag, and immediately Elgin pulls him up, puts him in a power slam position. Okada counters it, but it's just the fact that you immediately get that crowd involved, and they immediately get to see the kind of strength that Elgin has. He does that solid suplex again, but it looks even more impressive when it's not guys kicking him or whatever to cause him to drop the guy. When it's just Elgin deciding, I'm going to drop you now. Nope, I'm not going to drop you now. And it's pretty awesome just to see. It was well done. He also has this tremendous deadlift superplex that he turns into a falcon arrow in midair, which is fantastic. He does the buckle bomb, and then Okada counters it into his neck breaker that kind of goes over the back or whatever, which was terrific. This was another thing too. Like, each one of them had a counter for some of the big moves that the other one does, which made it kind of frantic. It was just very easy to watch, but also very entertaining. Like, it got you up to your feet to watch, to say, oh my god, which is the next counter they're gonna do? Which is the, it's just great stuff. The finish was great because Elgin was trying to counter Okada into the Rainmaker. He winds up in the corner. Okada drop kicks him into the back of the head, and Elgin makes his head like bounce, and then he kind of turns around into the Rainmaker. Just terrific stuff. I thought this was match of the night, match of the show. Definitely should go back and watch this. Anybody that says Elgin is not going to work here, he already had a tremendous match against your champion, and I think Okada proves once again why he is one of the best in the world, I think, here. So your main event is Shinsuke Nakamura against Carl Anderson. Yeah, you heard me playing the Bullet Club music at the beginning of the show there, so you can probably tell why I did that. Now, Anderson and Nakamura had a nice little, like I said, they had a nice little interaction in their tag match, and that kind of went into this. Anderson decided that he wanted to work on the neck for most of the match to kind of reinforce when he does the gun stun that it's really going to carry some weight. So he's really working on the neck. There's kicks to the head. He really early on, we go outside. This is one of those times where like the hard camera doesn't catch something because they go all the way to the right. So what you see is Nakamura had kneed Anderson onto the barricade, like we see him do a lot when there's an announce table or something like that. And he's going to go do the like big knee. So he goes back to run. And then Anderson grabs him and then basically does a fireman's carry neckbreaker over into and knocks him basically into the crowd on the right side. So it takes like Nakamura all the way to like 17 to come back in. And then he eye rakes him and then kicks him right in the face and knocks him out. And he goes back in at like 13 or something like that. So just really good stuff at the beginning. Then he just keeps on with like neck breakers and like running knees in the corner. He makes Nakamura miss that running knee in the corner a few times too, and he's able to counter that into something which works great. He goes for he does hit a top rope gun stun, but Nakamura kicks out. Then he's able to counter the Boma Yi into a really weak looking gun stun, which Nakamura kicks out of again. And then Nakamura is able to like hit a jumping kick and hit the Boma Yi from the back, but he's not able to really get all of it. So when he does a reverse suplex and looks like he's about to get ready to hit you again, this time full on, Anderson's waiting for it, gets the gun stun completely on this time, and he wins. And it's total surprise, great upset. Once again, goes into the stuff with their tag match because they were trying to counter Boma Yi into gun stun. He worked to perfection. I really like this because not only did the neck work kind of go into the whole match or whatever, and it makes the multiple gun stuns kind of work here, is also just his smartness to know, okay, I need to make sure I don't get hit with that Boma Yi in the corner or with the knee in the corner that kind of sets up the Boma Yi a little bit. And we got, Nakamura getting a lot of like almost desperation spots. Like he's so good that he can hit that, and he's right back in it. And there was a kid and a few people chanting for Nakamura, hoping he would get back up. There was a kid just not chanting, but saying Shinsuke constantly during this match. It was like, oh my god. It's like constant. It's like, wow. And then they pull the trigger. Anderson wins, first big shock of the tournament. And it kind of leaves you in that doubt of, will Nakamura, now that he's not going to be able to run through everyone, he already has that one loss. Maybe it's not going to be him going through this, especially the way Okada looked in the first match. So it's going to be certainly interesting. Anderson might now be a dark horse in Block B that we didn't think about. He has made mention several times about him making it to the G1 final in 2012. said that. He says that again at the end in a promo. He talks about how, he thanks the crowd. He does a lot. He talks about, well, now I'm going to be the G1 champion this year, and you should have doubted that after this match that I just had. So terrific stuff. I really enjoyed it. Apparently, this is kind of a mixed bag with some people. They didn't like the way that it started out kind of slow at the beginning. I really liked it because I thought it built up to things. But to each his own, I guess, on that one. I definitely think, once again, the last 3 matches really worth going back and watching, especially if you like Hanma. That match with Nagata is really good. And if you're one of those Elgin haters, I think you should definitely watch this match with Okada and tell me you still hate him after that, or at least still say that it doesn't work there, because he definitely does. Anderson Nakamura for the big shock. If you want to see a little bit of the Shibata and Naito interaction, there isn't a whole lot of it, to be honest. You can watch that tag, but honestly, just watch the last 3 matches. Kojima and Ishii is not long enough to where it would be a big deal if you do watch it, but you can probably skip the first 2 G1 matches and you'll be fine. But yeah, so that's night 2. I thought overall it was better than night 1 because the G1 matches to me carry a lot more weight than the tag matches. Yes, I certainly enjoyed the tag matches from the first show, but I think when you're looking at it, what you're going to be thinking about from this show is the G1 matches. So when the G1 matches when you're going back and looking at those G1 matches, and 3 of them really stand out, and you have a pretty good one, and Kojima and Ishii as well, I think you definitely have to rate that show a little higher. I know, again, there was a mixed bag feeling on the main event, but I really enjoyed it. So that's my thought on it. I think I gave it an 8. I gave the first night a 6 because of the 3 G1 matches not delivering, even though it kind of balanced out with the opening tag matches and the last 2 matches being great. I gave this one an 8 because you had 4 really good to great G1 matches, then you kind of had sort of iffy there opening tags, but again, G1 matches carry a lot more weight in this tournament because that's what you're watching in these. So definitely gonna say the G1 this show was better overall. So now let's look ahead to the card for the matches on tomorrow. It'll be 5:30 a.m. Eastern again, 2:30 a.m. Pacific. So if you wanted to know the time to be able to get up like I did, where I basically went to sleep. I usually go to bed at like 2 in the morning. I'm a night owl. I went to bed at like 11 right off, or I think I went to bed at like midnight right after I got off work because I was like, I got to get some sleep so I can stay up and be good for this. But so we return to A block action, which is obviously not the hefty block, the one that has the nice matchups. So, there's some of these that you're probably not going to be too into, but let's see. We have, as I mentioned, let's go through this whole card here. So we got Yohei Komatsu, Tiger Mask, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Satoshi Kojima, an 8-man tag. Jay White, David Finlay Jr., Mascara Dorada, and Michael Elgin. So looks like we're setting up for the Kojima and Elgin match that's going to happen on Friday. And then everything else is juniors or young lions or whatever. More Mascara Dorada and Jushin Liger interaction I'm not going to complain about. They had some nice stuff on the first night. Yoshihashi and Tomohiro Ishii against Cody Hall and Yujiro Takahashi. Well, you can probably guess who's winning there. Ishii and Takahashi are facing off on Friday as well. Captain New Japan and Goto. Oh, that team again. Oh, Lord. Tama Tonga and Carl Anderson. Goto and Anderson should be terrific. That's going to be an awesome watch. Even though those are not, neither one of those are the 2 main events. That's kind of the third match in the undercard for that night. We've got Ryusuke Taguchi, Tomoaki Hama, and Yuji Nagata teaming after they had just faced each other against Geto, Kazuchika Okada, and Shinsuke Nakamura, all being of Chaos, obviously. It's Nakamura and Yuji Nagata on that Friday. and it's Okada and Hanma in the main event, which, man, that should be awesome. Talk about Hanma hope spots, and could there be a Hanma upset against the champion? That'd be crazy. Imagine. So we get to the G1 matches. Kota Ibushi versus Doc Gallows. Oh, Lord. I think Ibushi can definitely get a much better match out of Gallows than Tenzin was going to. So I kind of have some hope there for this match. I think Ibushi kind of knows how to work these big man, little man, smaller man matches. This is going to be interesting, I think. Even though I'm not going to hold out hope that I'm going to be, thoroughly entertained or anything. We got Togi Makabe against Bad Luck Fale. This could be a bruising match if Fale's into it. This could also be just one of those where Fale shows that he really doesn't move around well, and Makabe kind of has to just work through it. I would expect Makabe wins again. I also have Ibushi beating Gallows in that one. And then the first one, Toru Yano against AJ Styles. This could be interesting. They met, I think, last year in the G1 as well. AJ kind of knows Yano's antics at this point. But will Yano pull off the upset? That's going to be interesting. I have AJ winning here. But I definitely think this could be, especially because, the crowd will be amped to kind of be more towards Yano than AJ. We could see the upset. But I'm going to say AJ beats him. If AJ's got to get through the fodder, I think. If he's going to lose, he's going to lose to some of the bigger guns. The Hiroshi Tanahashis, maybe the Naitos, maybe a Kota Ibushi in the rematch, from New Japan Cup. That's going to be interesting. So we got Katsuri Shibata against Tetsuya Naito. Probably when you're talking about the wrestling match of the night, this is going to be it. This is your semi-main event. They had some, like I said, nice interaction in that tag match. It's going to be interesting to see how Shibata deals with Naito, really being able to kick it in on the whole I don't care. I'm really going to be jacked to see that. And we got Hiroshi Tanahashi against Hiroshi Tenzin in the main event. I don't know why they couldn't have switched these two, but it's whatever. Now that Shibata has the injured arm, I think it's kind of okay, I guess. So, Tanahashi and Tenzin. This could be good. Like I said, if there's anybody that can get a good match out of Tenzin, it'd be Tanahashi. And definitely, like I said, Tenzin likes to kind of amp it up for the G1 and everything. So I would definitely expect Tenzin has a good match here with Tanahashi. But I wouldn't expect any kind of main event like we got on the first night. Shibata and Naito will be the one that delivers that if we get it. But yeah, so that's the look ahead to tomorrow. Like I said, 5:30 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 a.m. Pacific. I'll be live tweeting if you get up and watch it at @Wrestling2Max. You can follow us there. We also have a Wrestling Max Facebook group that you can go join and talk to some of our other. Now we don't have too many people. We have like a few people that are big, Japanese wrestling fans. The rest of them are, WWE, that kind of stuff. But I mean, if you like more than just Puro, I think that's definitely a group. We have great discussions in there. So we don't have like a zillion members. We have like around 600, but we have a nice contingent that always gets in and has conversations, and I think it's pretty good there. So like I said, if you have only listened to these shows, the two G1 shows, and you don't listen to our normal podcast, we do have a normal podcast that we're going to do basically later tonight. 11 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday night, we'll be live. We'll take phone calls, 972-591-8620, if you want to call in and talk to anything that's happening American wrestling-wise, or even the G1. You can talk with me about what your thoughts are on the G1 so far. There's a Spreaker chat in there. If you download the Spreaker app and then you search for Wrestling to the Match, you can find it there. When it goes live, you click on it. There's a chat bubble, and you can talk to us. Or you can talk to me, and I can relay it to my two co-hosts as well, Gary Vaughn and Paul Leeser. Paul would normally be, he's the one that got us into the whole doing New Japan and everything. But he's busy with work. I kind of have today off, so this is why I've been able to do this. And, so like I said, follow us on Twitter. Got the Facebook group. If you're listening on one of the websites, whether it's 401 or Last Word or something, we are on iTunes, we are on Stitcher, we are on TuneIn Radio, Player FM, Downcast, Blueberry, VOC Nation Radio Network. We're there too. And rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. We've gotten reviews. Really appreciate those. Thank you so much. And well, until later tonight, if you listen to both podcasts, or if not, till sometime tomorrow with G1 Night 3. See you guys later. And if you're not living life to the max, remember that you're not living life at all. You know it.